Native forests, grasslands and mountains make up 47% of Aotearoa's land area. This taonga attracted almost 4 million tourists annually pre-COVID and will doubtless attract millions more. Tourism earned New Zealand $41 billion in 2019 and directly employed 8.4% of our working population. This makes it our largest export earner. A hit to nature is a hit to tourism, and a hit to tourism is a hit to us all. People come here to experience the unique flora, fauna, and geography resulting from 80 million years of isolation. However, humans have already caused the extinction of 51 bird species, 1 bat species, 3 frogs, 3 lizards, 1 freshwater fish, 4 plants, and several invertebrates. Our native species did not evolve to live with predators like rats, stoats, and possums, making them especially vulnerable. As well as economic hardship, this destruction brings about a degradation of our national identity and culture. As such, the government has resolved to eliminate these predators by the year 2050. Poisoning can clear 98% of possums and 90% of rats with a single aerial drop, or it can be deployed from ground-based bait stations. However, it's not really applicable to urban areas, and to finish the job with the last 2 and 10%, traps still have to be used. Trapping with traps like this is also proven very effective at reducing predator numbers and increasing those of natives. However, traps are very labour-intensive to reset. They must be checked and sometimes reset every 1 to 4 weeks, season depending. Many can also only be accessed on foot or via ATV. Obviously, petrol costs money and walking takes a lot of time. Also, there's some suggestion of a hot trap effect. Recent catches attract more predators to the same trap. This means that if traps could be reset faster, catch yields may go up exponentially rather than just linearly.
One improvement could be self-resetting traps. These do exist, but they are expensive and still in their early stages of development. We already have thousands of normal manual traps deployed. A more feasible and cheaper solution would be to upgrade these traps to make them more efficient before gradually replacing the entire trap fleet with automatic ones.
Devices that wirelessly report when traps have been set off could be this upgrade. These could easily be retrofitted in the field rather than having to replace existing traps or bring them all back to base, which would both be expensive options. This information would allow maintainers to better plan their routes and timings, which would save a lot of money and time and would also allow for more traps to be serviced by the same group of people. Studies have been conducted on these devices and found that they could deliver significant savings through the reduction in trap checking time.
Such devices do exist, but are generally underutilized and underdeveloped. They are expensive and cannot be installed without requiring traps to be returned to a workshop. A cheaper and easier to install version of these devices could make a real difference in New Zealand and would also allow for more groups such as farmers to expand their trapping operations. Also, the general public could be utilised as a sort of casual volunteer force, a bit like iNaturalist does. Social media elements and gamification could be applied to keep users engaged and coming back, like Pokemon Go.
I envision an app where nearby triggered traps are displayed for all to see and reset. Safety, security, and QA considerations would of course have to be put in place, but these are feasible. For example, QA could be done like iNaturalist, where users review each other's work. Safety could be delivered in the form of careful, repeated instructions. Security could be done a bit like Lime scooters do, with GPS asset tracking and careful management of what users can do what. Private trap groups could also exist and sensors be sold, for example to farmers and other interested individuals. The use of existing wireless networks is really desirable and possible. For example, LoRaWAN could be used, which is a long-range and low-power network currently operated in New Zealand by Spark, but you can also set up private networks of it. This could help to further engage tangata whenua and other communities who have historically been distant to colonial conservation programs. As a more casual form of volunteering, this may be less intimidating and likely lead to more people becoming involved in traditional conservation volunteering, a win-win. Clearly, there's much more work to do, both on conservation technology in general and these wireless trap sensors in specific. I personally am actually working on such a device, much like I've described it. This is for a school project and these various competitions like this one. However, there's no shortage of people more qualified with different and better ideas than me to build something like this, or something different. Obviously, competition breeds innovation, and it also reduces the price, which will make the system better for everybody.
Let's summarise. Trapping is an effective and essential tool in New Zealand's arsenal against dangerous introduced mammalian predators. However, it is also highly labour-intensive to maintain and reset a network of traps. Obviously, not all traps in a network may be set off at one time. If only the required traps could be visited, a significant amount of time and money could be saved. This conclusion has been supported by several studies. One way of ascertaining which traps must be reset could be to use wireless sensors mounted on each trap. Using the information they yield, a new and optimized route for the maintainers could be planned. This information could also be made available to the public through an app who could reset traps nearby to them. This may save the dedicated volunteers considerable time accessing hard-to-reach traps. It is time to bring conservation into the 21st century. Thank you.